Hello guys, this is how you should pronounce everything you need to say about Shakespeare next Thursday. Okay, I will start. William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor. He has been the greatest writer in the English language. He was born in Stratford upon Avon in 1564 and he died in London on the 23rd of April 1616. He wrote many plays, among them there are tragedies. Today we are going to speak about Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Othello, Hamlet, and King Lear. He wrote many more, but these are the most important ones. On the other hand, he also wrote comedies. The most famous one is A Midsummer Night's Dream, which we'll also speak about. In addition, he wrote some historical dramas about kings and queens of England and some poetry. He was contemporary to Miguel de Cervantes, who he never met. And now we will talk about some of his plays. Some words you really should remember here are playwright, okay? Remember to pronounce it well, playwright, and tragedies. Okay, when I read this word, I didn't pronounce it very well because I was about to cough. Okay, right. Also remember to say all the titles correctly: Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Othello, Hamlet, King Lear, A Midsummer Night's Dream. One of the tragedies that he wrote is Hamlet. It was written in 1599. It is set in the Kingdom of Denmark. The main themes of the play are revenge, doubt, and power. The main characters are Hamlet and Claudius, and some of the secondary characters are Marcellus and Bernardo. The story is about a man. The king and queen are busy trying to abort the invasion led by Fortinbras and the changing behavior of Hamlet. The play ends with the entry of Fortinbras, who offers a military funeral in honor of Hamlet. There have been some adaptations of the play. The most famous one is the film by Kenneth Branagh in 1996. Well, notice that here you need to introduce some changes. For example, where you say the story is about a man who, well, you need to say the story is about, I wouldn't say a man or a woman, okay? I would say it's about a king and a queen who are busy trying to abort the invasion led by Fortinbras, okay? That would be enough. Although I would also say something different at the end, where you say there have been some adaptations of the play. The most famous one is, because we're talking about the singular, okay? Another of the tragedies he wrote is Othello. It was written in 1603. It is set in Venice and Cyprus. The main themes of the play are race, pride, and jealousy. The main characters are Othello, Desdemona, and Iago. And some of the secondary characters are Michael Cassio, Blanca, and Prospero. The story is about a man who is a general in the army who kills his wife, and Iago is angry and jealous with Othello. And Othello finally kills himself. There have been some adaptations of the play. The most famous one is the opera by Verdi. Now notice that when you talk about the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth of Shakespeare's plays, you won't have to say one of the. You will have to say another of his either tragedies or comedies, okay? Another of the tragedies he wrote is Macbeth. It was written in 1603, 1607. It is set in Scotland. The main themes of the play are violence, ambition, fate, nature, and the unnatural. The main characters are Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, and some of the secondary characters are Duncan, Banquo. The story is about three witches that talk to each other and agree to meet with Macbeth. The witches are standing in circles, then Macbeth arrives. Macbeth kills Duncan and Banquo. There have been some adaptations of the play. The most famous one is the film by Akira Kurosawa, released in 1957. Another of his tragedies is Romeo and Juliet. It was written in 1597. It is set in Verona. The main themes of the play are love, violence, lies, and hate, and also power. The main characters are, of course, Romeo and Juliet, and some of the secondary characters are Mercurio and the nurse. The story is about a man and a woman. They are Romeo and Juliet. Romeo loves Juliet and Juliet loves Romeo, but they have a very big problem because their families are enemies. There have been some adaptations of the play. The most famous one is the film by Franco Zeffirelli, released in 1968. Finally, the last of the tragedies we will talk about is King Lear. It was written in 1608. It is set in ancient Britain. The main themes of the play are family, power, justice, gender, society, and class. The main characters are Lear and Cordelia. Some of the secondary characters are Edward and the Fool. The story is about a man who tricks his father Gloucester with a forged letter and makes him think Edgar plans to usurp the state. There have been some adaptations of the play. Now let me repeat this word to you, okay? Because again, I didn't pronounce it very well. Usurp, okay? Usurp. So we would have to say that Edgar plans to usurp the state. Also, bear in mind that in the last of the cheat papers, you will have to say, finally, one second, finally, the last of the tragedies we will talk about, is King Lear. Okay? You can do it with King Lear or with whatever tragedy you prefer. Finally, we will talk about one of the comedies he wrote, which is A Midsummer Night's Dream. It was written in 1590 to 1597. It is set in Athens and fairyland. The main themes of the play are magic and love's difficulty, and also dream. The main characters are Herminia, Demetrius, Titania, and Oberon, and some of the secondary characters are Philostrati. The story is about a woman who doesn't want to marry with the man his father wants. So she escapes to the forest with the man she loves. They discover a magic world called Fairyland, and they meet the king and the queen of fairies. There have been some adaptations of the play. The most famous one is the opera by Felix Mendelssohn. Now, two things to bear in mind here. One is grammar and the other one is vocabulary, okay? Here, obviously, you need doesn't, okay? So, with the man, his father, no, sorry. The story is about a woman who doesn't want to marry, okay? Marry the man his father wants, okay? Remember that. One last thing is the fact that what Mendelssohn composed wasn't exactly an opera, okay? It was a suite, okay? Which is another kind of music composition. Well, guys, we've come to the end of this presentation. The only thing I have to tell you now is good luck, and as the actors say, break a leg. Which does mean that I wish you to have an accident, not at all. I mean, for you to be as successful as possible next Thursday. And next Friday, of course. Okay? Bye, and see you on Thursday.